Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. I just wanted to continue that the last podcast I made. It's still the 10th of April 2018, and I was talking about weapons that kill. All weapons kill. In respect of the recent news stories of a alleged nerve agent attack in Syria on children. And if anyone knows anything about the propaganda stories, especially when it comes to like Iraq and Afghanistan, you know, the West will always like it to be involving children, or they centre on that. You know, if there's any news story, if there's a child involved, or if there's not children, then women. You know, because obviously there are emotive arguments, and obviously, you know, as a human being, you know that if you see say a man suffering, it won't evoke so much emotion as when you see a defenceless child or baby suffering. Now I haven't seen I've only seen bits that they've shown on Sky News, and I'm sure that they're, the only bits I've saw, and it looks like they're drenching with water, they're covered in water, and they're taking the tops off children, but they don't seem burnt underneath on their skin or anything like that. It just seems like someone threw water over them. Now, it's interesting that both Russia and Syria are claiming these were staged or didn't even happen, and that's very interesting because I don't think I've ever heard any government ever say that before, you know, to claim that it was staged. It's almost as if now, you know, because obviously conspiracy theorists, I don't know if I'm using that word, but they often claim that these terrorist attacks that happen in Europe and the gun attacks that happen in America are staged, or part of them is staged. Some people believe that people are killed, some people believe that people aren't killed. But there is an element of staging involved in it, that it's not a natural event. So it's interesting that Russia and Syria are using that kind of terminology. And obviously, I mean, it's not impossible, you know. Syria is a war zone at the moment. How difficult would it be to make people think that they've been attacked by a nerve agent when they actually haven't? It wouldn't be difficult at all, would it? Not for the might of the West. I mean, the thing is, it's interesting how the West would obviously point fingers at Russia and Syria, and that's obvious. But I mean, any one of them, as we know, as people, we should be individuals. Just because we belong to a country doesn't, I mean, why should we be patriotic to that country? You know, we are just humans. We just happen to have been born inside a country. We are told that our country is the best country, and you know, we have that indoctrination upon us. But we should remain as humans, individual of these things, and that we are all humans, divided for a purpose, so that we attack each other primarily, isn't it? But we should always try and look at things and remember that we know our own country has done things. You know, it's very interesting that they always forget all the terrible things that we've done throughout history, and yet we point the finger at other people saying, oh, you're so bad to do those things. It's like I was talking about before, the nerve agent, and maybe my argument was, it wasn't quite clear, and I wasn't saying that nerve agent isn't a bad thing. It's painful, I'm sure, but what I was trying to say is that all weapons do kill. And, you know, what is the answer to if it is Russia and Syria using nerve agent, what will be America and the West's response? It'll be dropping bombs on people. I mean, it's killing. How are we going to stop killing? It's so bad that you kill people, I'm going to kill people too. And let's be under no illusion. What is the reason, you know, the reason for all this in Syria? If there is anyone that actually truly believes that the West or the Russians care about the Syrian people, then you might as well stop listening now. You're completely deluded. Do you think they don't care about these people at all? They don't even care about their own people. Our own people in the West, in Russia, wherever, are suffering, and we leave them on the streets. We don't provide them with houses. We have some kind of social care. But remember, it's not that great, because remember, in social care, they believe that you can live on £100 a week. Yeah, so let's not be under illusion that the governments actually that caring about their own people. Yes, they are to a certain degree, but the reason of Syria is to do with power, is to do with oil, is to do with something else. It is nothing to do with the people. Let's not pretend ourselves in that. And that's why they don't mind dropping bombs on these people, because they'll say, no, no, we're dropping bombs on terrorists. But we know, as we know, there is collateral damage. We know, no matter how accurate they say they are, we know they do hit schools. And then they pretend, no, it wasn't them, or, and obviously they're flying about these skies, and we don't know if they're using their own planes or what planes they're using, whether they're, even if anyone can see who it is. They're not sharing their radar. They're not coming out and saying, oh yeah, look, this was us that did this. These things get reported and then they deny it. Or they say, oh, we're going to investigate that, and then everyone forgets about it. But if there was some kind of dispute in America, in Texas, or in Europe, or in France, or UK, they wouldn't drop bombs on them, would they? Why would it be so difficult for an American to drop bombs on us? Because we see us, we see the similarities. We see that, oh, we're friends. I couldn't do that to you, but I can do it to someone like in Syria or in Africa or in the Middle East. I don't mind dropping bombs on them. Why is it? What's the difference? They're still babies and women, mothers, fathers, men, human beings. But I just hate this idea how we have, in a way, allowed this, that we can have it, it's okay to shoot people and drop bombs on them. That's humane, but to use a nerve agent, no, that's very painful. Wait a minute, that's because we all believe that we watch movies and we see someone get shot and blown up and think it's instant, because that's what we're shown all the time in movies. But it doesn't happen like that. People get shot, they don't die straight away. It depends where they get shot, isn't it? And they're writhing in agony. Or if they get blown up and just their leg gets blown off, or half their face gets blown off because they were just on the outskirts of the bomb. I'm sure that's as painful as a nerve agent. So let's not kid ourselves that all weapons do kill, and all weapons can kill painfully, whether it's a nerve agent, whether it's bombs, whether it's bullets. It just seems like they're using, it's a bit like America and Russia, and this has long been the story. This goes back to Vietnam, this goes back to other wars, where they use Syrians and these people like chess pieces. They're like the hands that control the pawns and the kings and the queens and the knights, fighting a battle that doesn't really affect them. They don't have to worry about the people that die, because most of the people that die are not their own people. And at the end of it, once they claim that, oh yes, now we've got rid of Assad or whoever, a democratically elected leader who they didn't have problems with previously, but now they do have problems with, same they had with Colonel Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein, all people that they used to work with, and now they don't like them anymore. Once they get rid of them, is the country going to be any better? No. But maybe that's the whole point, to destabilise the area, destabilise the whole piece, in order to win the king. Anyway, that's enough of my rant, isn't it? Take care, take it easy, God bless and peace.